We got a small problem to take care of. Let me show you. Well, I've been working out here for the past 3 hours trying to mow the yard, and it looks like I'm just about done. I need to make about 4 more passes on the bottom field, and I'll be finished for the day, thank goodness. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, though. Not rained here in a while. Before I finish up the mowing, let me show you guys what I did to the T25. It looks a lot different today. So as you can see there, friends, the loader is gone. I took it off today. So with the loader on the tractor when you're mowing, it does give you the ability to move stuff out of the way, which happens a lot here. I got logs laying everywhere, but it keeps you from getting close to the fence line, close to the house, and close to objects out here in the log yard. And it's lighter on the tractor, and it bounces less because that loader weight's not out there on the front end. And I noticed more horsepower because it was lighter, and I think it mows better. So from here on out, I think every time we mow, I'm gonna take the loader off. It only took me like 5 minutes. It was pretty simple. All right, friends, we got the yard mowed. Let's head up to the sawmill and see what we got going on up there. Well, by the looks of things, there ain't nothing going on up here. There's nothing on the sawmill and no logs over on the deck. I guess I should probably work on that order of cedar. I got about half of it done, and it looks like I got plenty enough logs right here to finish it. I need to saw up about 700 more board feet of that red cedar, and this right here should be enough to finish out that order. These are all 8-footers, and as far as cedar goes, these are perfect saw logs. A little windy up here this evening. Supposed to have some storms blow in tomorrow, but hopefully they're wrong about it, but who knows with that. So we got some red cedar here on the sawmill, and for you guys out there that hate when I call it red cedar, I'm gonna call it juniper today. So today we have some nice juniper on the sawmill. Around here we call it red cedar though. I can't call it juniper, I can't do it. Juniper is like a little ornamental plant you can get at Lowe's, you know. I don't think of cedar as juniper. Anyway, so I got 4 of these in front of the sawmill and this one on top of the mill, and this one is pretty nasty. There's a lot of knot clusters. It's about 9 feet on the length. The diameter is not really big, but like I was saying earlier with cedar, you want a smaller diameter log on cedar. You don't want a big one. Those big ones have a lot of rot. This one is nice and solid here on this end, and on the operator side, same thing. So, not a bad log. We're sawing this at 4/4, a true 1 inch on the thickness. I think we'll get probably maybe 42 board feet, maybe 37. I'm thinking we're going to get 1x7s. That's why I'm throwing out these odd numbers. We may get 1x8s though. I don't know. These knots right here, I don't know. We have to go down pretty deep to get rid of that. And there's a little bit of a swell right here on this bottom. So, I don't know. So real quick here guys, before we get started, on the sawmill, you know what's on there. Joe Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7. If you want those blades, you want to try them out, give Joe a phone call. Cell phone numbers down in the video description. And a lot of people have been hitting me up here lately about books about sawmilling. And to my recollection, I can't think of a single book out there that's just on sawmilling. My good buddy Robert Milton down in Alabama at Hobby Hardwoods, I've been telling him for years to write a sawmill book with all the proper information in there, but he probably won't do it, and I don't blame him if he doesn't. But I don't think there's a real good publication out there that I know of that's just on sawmills. And I may change that in the future. I may throw something out there. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. But anyways, until then, there's a book that I just got through finished reading. It's called The Wheelwright Shop. Not the Woodwright Shop, not the Roy Underhill over in North Carolina. This is called The Wheelwright Shop. I think it was published in 1923, if I remember right. I was reading up on it this morning on some of the specifics of it, so I would know today to tell you guys about it. So anyways, it's the first-hand account of a wheelwright shop back in the 1800s. And my goodness, friends, there's a ton, I mean a ton, of information in that book on trees, on sawmilling, on woodworking, and on logs. I mean, just tons of information. And that's where I get a lot of my knowledge from, are these old books on different crafts, such as wheelwrights. You know, these guys were building buggies in a place over in New England, you know, back 100 years ago, longer than 100 years ago, maybe 150 years ago. I think it was mid-1800s. And these guys knew what they were doing, and they talked about the timber, they talked about how it was harvested, and it was also tongue-tied right there. It would, let me slow down here. It would go through a pit saw. And if you're not familiar with that, that's the old sawmills. That's probably the first sawmills. That's where you had a guy sitting up on top of a scaffold with a rip saw, and a guy in a pit down below, and that's how they would cut the logs. They would go back and forth. It's real interesting, a lot of work. There's a link down below to that book. It's on my Amazon store. It's pretty cheap. It's like $9, but hang in there if you read it. It takes a little while to get going, but you'll be glad you did. It's a great resource for you guys out there that are wanting to get into sawmilling, or you're in sawmilling, but you want to learn some more about it, and there's tons to learn. There's tons to learn. So, I guess I'm done with that. I think I got all that out of my system right there. I'll tell you what, tongue twisted today. So let's open this one up, friends, and see what it looks like and go from there. And the wind, my goodness, it is picking up out there. Man, it's getting windy. Hopefully it don't knock these cameras over. You guys hang in there. All right, guys, had to quit sawing for just a minute. We got a small problem to take care of. Let me show you. So on that last cut, I noticed I was getting a really wide board, and check this out. 10 inches wide right there. Man, that's nice. But it came with a price. And if you look right there, it looks like we got a nail. Now hopefully that's the only nail in this log. And it looks like it didn't mess up the blade too bad. The set looks okay. I think I'll keep sawing, see how it goes before I change the blade out. But hopefully we can pull this out without damaging the timber too bad. I'm going to use my handy little crescent nail puller to do that. And every time I show this tool, I have to mention where I got it. I bought it on Amazon, and it's not cheap, but it works really good. There's a link down below. There we go. Let's get back to saw. If we're lucky, no more nails.